welcome to your career reading. I'm just smudging the area here and I want to welcome you. If you've been here before, welcome back. And if you're a new viewer, I say thank you for taking your time out to joining me today. So I'm doing a career reading today based on these three objects that we have here. And if you find that this reading is beneficial for you and you want to share it with someone, please feel free, because I love all the likes, subscribe, shares and all those type of things. And I want to start with our first object today. So firstly, we have the pendulum. It's got beautiful crystal chips in there of rose quartz. And if you were attracted to this object, the first reading is yours. I'll timestamp all the three readings and let's see what the cards have to say for you today. So, starting with the first object, the pendulum. Let's see what's going on with you and your career. Okay. So, there's lots of changes going on in the world at the moment. So we're in uncharted waters, a lot of us, which I find quite exciting. Exciting, believe it or not. Change is exciting and equally, scary. All right, so, okay. Nurture, we get the nurture card. We get the communication card. And thirdly, the birth and babies. Ooh, okay. Let's have a look at these cards. All right. So, straight up with the first reading, we have the nurture card. Now, I'm just going to take a moment with this card because a lot of things are actually standing out to me here. And I know the message for here is that in order for you to be able to be of service to others, you need to look in your own garden, So you need to be connecting with yourself at the moment before you're able to give. So I know at the moment in your career, it's almost like you're being overwhelmed with too many responsibilities. You're either overworked, underpaid, or just not recognized. So there'd be something that's happened that is just literally, I want to say the word bleeding you dry. And when I say that, my throat chakra also, it was hard for me to say that. So I know that there's something you're not talking about, there's something you're not speaking about, and there's more to it. Whatever's going on, there's more to it. So the communication, sorry, forgot about that card there. The communication is your next card. In order to be able to nurture yourself, you will be needing to communicate. And your throat chakra is where you're blocked the most. So I wouldn't be surprised if you've been getting, whether or not you're stumbling for words like me right now, trying to find the right words, or just not speaking up completely, or even having throat issues. So whether or not this is thyroid or just sore throat, those type of things, colds, flus, it's all related to this area of communication. So we need to really start having a look. And the card here says, take care of your needs first. Your nurturing will benefit others only if your own needs are met first. So there's too much going on. You're just taking it on the chin. And the thing is, you're not going to be able to broaden your horizons either within the company that you're working for or whether you're doing something on your own until you actually voice it. And if you're not if it's something that you need to share with others around you, maybe the management or fellow employees, or it could be just yourself. You're literally not sharing it with yourself. So you're really holding back, and there's plenty but you're not speaking it. And when you don't speak it, it's like you're giving it no freedom. So when we actually share what is on our mind, it's almost like we get it out there and we get relief. So you're just got this energy at the moment that's really, really stuck, and you're finding it hard to even communicate what's going on. So once you start break it down into little bite-sized pieces and start sharing what you mean, and you're going to be able from that space to be in an area of creation again. So I just want to get, I'm not going to go to that card just yet. I want to just go over here and get a bit more information on these two before we go there for some reason. I don't have any order or anything I do my readings. It's just whatever I'm intuitively guided to. So I just want to get a bit more information. Oh, thank you. On this one. And under this one here as well. Nope, keep shuffling. Okay. And this one. Okay. Perfect. All right. So this makes a bit more sense to me now. So in your, where you're at the moment, it's you're not backing yourself like you used to. It's like there's exhaustion, and it's really time is what's the saying? Time is of the essence for you now to really pull back and reevaluate what you want to do next. So whether or not you're taking some time out or you've got a holiday coming up, it's very important that you do what's necessary for yourself, but you need to persevere with that, with yourself. Okay, you've been doing bits and pieces or thinking about it, but you haven't actually stopped and really given yourself that time that you deserve. Now, the thing is, with what's going on, and you know, you're scared about actually saying what you want. You're actually scared about asking for that pay rise or asking for less hours, or you want to start doing something you actually love and recreating your role. So you've got a lot of opportunity here, but you've got to ask, because don't be surprised if they come back to you and let you know that there is options for you to do that. When I work with a lot of my clients, we end up inventing roles. So they may be in a position that they're not really happy with, so they'll just go and go back to their employer and say, look, I'm really good at this, really good at that, I'm not loving that, and then they rejig their actual role. And I know you've got an opportunity for that, but only if you ask, because you're worrying so much that it is just building and building on this depletion. So I look at this tree and I see that we all have different seasons, but I really see that there's an energy that's just depleting in you because you're holding on to this. So once you let go of that worry and actually speak your mind, you're going to be in a place of creation. So I see you've got a couple of opportunities here. One, you can stay exactly where you are, but rework your role by communicating. And the second thing is, and I just want to read this card to you, it's what do you need to nurture or develop? In what ways do you feel vulnerable? Are you feeling overwhelmed by responsibility? I love how these cards work. So it's really going back to basics, you know? Like, isn't it interesting how babies can be in a pram and so warm and nurtured, but they have no idea how much they're cared for? Isn't it interesting when, you know, you're at school and you didn't realize from 9 till 3 or 3:30 that, you know, you're there, you're home, and then you've got the afternoon off. Like, we didn't realize what we had when we had it. And this is just really looking at what you've got now and being grateful for what you've got. But you're in a position now where you can really change it. Change is inevitable for you right now. But you really need to sit back, work out where you're being deflated, what you're putting all this energy into, because it's really not being received well. You're not being seen for who you are. You're not being appreciated for who you are. And the thing is, it's time that you start speaking up, letting go. It says here, I'm learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. You can worry about something, and it may happen or it may not happen, but what do you got to worry about? It's either going to happen or not, right? So we can let go of the worry, and it's easy to say. But when we call in our angels and our guides and get these messages, you are in a place of creation. So really nurture yourself and speak up and ask for what you want, because there is change coming to your career. There really is. And I just want to get another card to finish off. This one. It's just that, you know what's stopping you here? From fear. It's just fear. You've always been someone who steps up, but you've just been stepping up and taking on too much responsibility now, and it's time for change, and it's time for you to do something you love. Okay. It's all coming together. It's the great gathering, intuitive hits, soul tribe. So I really feel like even though this says soul tribe, I know you're going to be getting the right people in your life, but at the moment it doesn't feel like you have that. It doesn't feel like you're really feeling completely supported. So I want you to start really meditating and calling in your spirit guides, calling in your spiritual team, because you're going to get answers, because it feels quite lonely, the path that you've been on. And it's time that you start opening up and asking for what you want, because when you do ask for what you want, a lot of the time you'll hear yourself ask for the first time and you'll think, yes, that is what I want. And then you start the momentum, and then you'll start meeting people that are going to take you on leaps and bounds with your next part of your career. So this is actually quite an exciting reading, but it's up to you if you want to stay back here being of service for everybody, or start really taking care of yourself, asking the big questions, having the conversations you've been holding back on, and asking for what you want, because it's time that your team, your spiritual team, is here to help you with the synchronicities and meeting the right people coming up next. So just really sit with how you feel, what you're willing to do and ask for over the next week or two. Come the next full moon, I believe that you're going to have a big release and be having the confidence to ask for what you need leading into the next new moon. Now, these readings are not time specific, so whenever you hear this, it's completely divine timing for you. So know that this is your message for the pendulum. I hope that makes sense to you. If not, maybe come back and revisit it. And thank you for listening. So that is reading number 1. Did you see that? The next reading, the next crystal actually fell down, so it's getting excited for me to read. So the next one is, this one's like a palm stone. They're all rose quartz I've used today. Rose quartz is very special for self-love, nurturing, which seems to be the theme in the first reading. These are very, very cool to have when you're just meditating, or when you want to do, you know, a bit of stress relief, because when you just do that with your thumb, it's very soothing. Plus you're getting the energy from your crystal. So this is for reading number 2. If you were drawn to the palm stone, the rose quartz palm stone. So let's dive in and see. Oh, hang on. That card's sticking out the wrong way. Look, I put the same cards back in, so we may very well get 1 or 2 of the same cards for the readings, but that's not a problem. It's just what it is. So let's go to the reading number 2 for your career, for the rose quartz palm stone. Oh, thank you, Spirit. Ooh, nice card. Freedom. Straight away, freedom. And how's that? Did you see it jump out? Yeah, good. Straight off the... Oh, yep. See, there you go. Birth babies. So that's the same card from the first reading. And thirdly, we have water. Okay. All right. So let's jump into this reading. So straight up, I know that you're a freedom seeker. You're a truth seeker. There is something that's really changed in your mind, where you are you're just going into your own energy now. You're really not taking people's advice to heart. You know, you're having all the conversations, it's all well and good, but you're taking what pieces resonate with you. So you're actually quite strong at the moment. You're very much in your own truth, which is amazing. The freedom card, to me, the horse stands out dramatically, and you can see that there's no saddle, there's no reins, there's nothing on this horse. It's white, it's looking for the goodness, and you're really focusing on what you want. That's where you go. As we know, where our focus goes, our energy flows, and that's exactly what you're doing at the moment. You're free reigning. You're literally free reigning. Your arms are out and you are flying. Whether or not at the moment you're doing a little bit of astral traveling, or actually you can feel leaving your body while you sleep at the moment, it's all part of your next ascension. You're very much ascending at the moment. So you'll be drawn to bigger picture things with your career. You're drawn to, you know, bringing in the collective, waking up people's consciousness, all that type of stuff. Now, don't get too overwhelmed with people that aren't aligned with you and aren't listening to your belief system, because you're onto something, you see. You're literally onto something with where you're going with this. But don't get too bogged down with staying with the people that are challenging you too much. If they're not up to speed at the moment by now with where you're going. They might, you know, catch up later or not come at all. And that's just something that you need to be okay with. That's the main message with this first card. Now, the next card you get is the same as the first reading, but see, with you, I feel that this is completely a different reading, a different message, because I see the nature that comes with this. So it's very similar to the collective message. We're really bringing in the elements. So whether or not you're doing elemental work, you know, bringing in you know, the moon cycles and earth, water. Like we've got the water card next, of course, but there's places here for you to really connect with Mother Nature. That's where you're going to be your best self. So really, because your ideas are huge. Your ideas, some people just go, sorry, they're too big for me, and they check out straight away. But the thing is, you've already achieved so much and you're ready to achieve the next step. Keep going, but call in your elementals, call in your elements, whether or not you Google some YouTube meditations that bring in the elements, but really connect with Mother Nature, because she's got your back here. And you're onto something bigger than you, bigger than me, bigger than all of us. But bring in that nature, because it's going to carry you through. The next one is what's overwhelming you in waking life. There you go. So when you're asleep, you are being taken. It's like your body is very much your vehicle, but you understand this concept anyway. But you know, when you're awake, it's like you check out. So that's why the earth is very important. I need you to be grounding so that you can get shit done. Otherwise, you're very much up in the clouds and you're very connected, but you are not bringing everything you know together. So you've got to come back down into the earthly plane to be able to develop what's next, okay? So in your waking life, what are you really struggling with? What's blocking you? Because that's what needs to be addressed. If there's things that you aren't capable of doing, or you don't have the time or the patience, get someone else to do it for you, because you've got places that you need to go. You don't want to be bogged down with the tedious jobs in your career. Now, this may very well be that you're working for someone, but I really feel you going solo with this one. I really feel like this is a, whether or not you're in business for yourself and it's taking a new direction, or you're literally just got this idea that just will not stop. And it's right. You've got all your spiritual team with you, pushing you. So you'll be in situations that are just like really strange, and conversations come up that will be like completely what you need to hear, because the only thing that's stopping you here, you can point your finger and blame others all you like, but it's you. Okay, so it's you. Okay, this is crazy. I've just had 4 cards jump out at once, and I'm not going to ignore that, because these are your next cards. All right. Okay, so these are fantastic. Look at that. 7, 8, balance 9. 7, 8, 9. Okay, so they're in order. So you do have your ducks in a row. You do. But it is yourself that's really blocking you here, because and look at this. We've got the freedom card here, but what comes under that is a loss of peace of mind or personal freedom. Take caution and be aware of others' actions or material loss. Make sure you're being honest with yourself. Embarrassing secrets. So sometimes when I get these cards, I can read them and things pull out to me and other things don't resonate. So look, to be honest, I'm not really, like, this might resonate with you, and that's great if it does, but in this flow that I'm in here channeling spirit, what's really pulling out to me is the freedom aspect. So because you're such a free spirit, what's been holding you back is the lack of freedom and the fear of not being able to do what you want when you want to do it. The thing is, when you call in the right people to give you schedules and put things in place, you're going to get a flow that's going to help you be in your creative mind. Because once you're creative, you are free. It's when you're doing other stuff that's keeping you feel chained, okay? So make sure you get into your creative space as much as possible, and that's where the nature comes in. Yeah, oh, wow. So the next card's the illusion of entrapment. A lack of self-confidence makes you feel helpless. Being afraid to take action, take responsibility for your life now. So, look, seriously, it's the same message going on here. You are really blocking yourself for being that free soul that you're here to become. And you're going to help other people seek freedom in that as well. Look, worst case scenario, people aren't going to get you. Worst case scenario, people are going to say you're nuts. But you know what? I get that all the time. And I am my best self in my creative flair. And that's what I'm getting for this reading completely. Okay, so make sure you keep creating. The only thing that's blocking you here is you. Now the balance card's right in the middle of your reading here, and we need to get the balance in order for you to be able to succeed with this idea or these ideas. Okay, just get one thing at a time in a structured manner. Self-control and patience is really the key here, but again, we talk about creativity. So there must be a Libran here, but I feel like I've got a Libran energy, whether or not this is in your birth chart or you actually have a Libran that's around you that actually influences you, a mentor, because I really feel there's a lot of energy needed here from that type of star sign, because they will bring you what you don't see right now. And even if you are a Libran, I really feel like you need another Libran. It's an external Libran, okay? The Libran part, because that'll just be able to help you see your dreams and backtrack from there. And the last card here is there. This is all in the past now. This is a really good card because it's saying, you know, you had all this fear that was keeping you stuck, but now you've got an idea and you have this trust that's building, and it's fantastic because you were having racing thoughts, you were having these fears that was quite debilitating, and you were having sleepless nights. Well, I'm here to say congratulations, because Spirit's here to say you're going to bring in the balance and the people you need to do the tedious job so that you can be that free solo artist. That's how I feel. It's a solo artist that you're bringing in your dream. And in your dreaming and in your creating, you're going to help other people be inspired to make a little bit of magic in their life too. All right, so I just want to grab one more card over here just to finish up this reading. But look, you're on your way to freedom, your choices, and it's your dream, this one, nobody else's. You're not following anyone's footsteps. You're literally recreating from the heart. And keep trusting, because you've got a beautiful spiritual team that's helping you on this journey. And just to finish off, relationships. The relationship with self is the most important. So you've been working on yourself, which is fantastic. I can see that in the cards. I can see that with the messages that I'm getting and the feeling and the vibe that I'm getting. So I know that it's time for you to step out of those comfort zones that you've kept, the restraints of life, of your thoughts, and know that every step forward, you're going to call in the right people to take the load off. But you keep going, because this is a one-man show. It really, really is. This is what it feels like. But make sure you're using the relationships around you to keep you in your flow. And that is your reading for the rose quartz stone right there. So I hope that resonates for you. And you know what, I love all the feedback, so feel free to please share any comments in below, because you know, when I do this work, I absolutely love it, because I know I've got my spiritual team and I know you guys watch these videos, but there is a lonely aspect to doing this sort of work as well. So find that in this reading, I feel like, is continuing a bit in this, because there is a lonely aspect to being a freedom seeker, you know, a truth seeker. But call in your people when you need them, and don't be alone too much. But this is a solo journey. So I hope that sort of clarifies what I've been saying throughout that reading. And that is number 2, reading number 2. All right, so moving on. So reading number 3 is this beautiful rose quartz orb. I've had this for many years. I actually feel like I got this when I was trying to stay pregnant. So I've had over 10 years of miscarriages when I was younger. And I believe this came into my life when my babies decided to stay, which is interesting that I share that. So I know that there's some sort of birth or rebirth going on with this reading straight away with your career as well. So let me choose a couple of cards out of this deck to start us off. And let's see what comes up. All right, intuition, landscape places, and surrender. Beautiful. So I feel like, I mean, this is not a gender-specific reading at all, but, you know, there is an idea of pregnancy and children around. So whether or not you work in that industry, you know, in the health system with pregnant women, or if they're, you know, with children or education, that type of thing, that's the first thing that comes out for me. And I know that the first card we get is the intuition card. And in your line of work, you're very intuitive, so there's a lot of stuff you know but haven't actually been educated on. So there's a knowing. And, you know, when we work with intuition and we just know stuff, that's a way where spirit just drops it in and we get our gut feel. So you're very much like that. So in your line of work, you're an asset. You're actually more developed than somebody who's got all the so-called training, because the knowing is life experience. It's like, you know, you might get deja vus and think, has this happened before? But it hasn't here and now, but there's some aspect to it that you just knew it was going to happen, right? So there's that type of thing. I know that you're very in tune with your spirit guides, and if you feel that this is something that you going, no, I'm not, well, it's time that you do, because they're there and they've been helping you the whole time. I also know, very interesting, okay. I also got the vision of a wolf. Then a wolf came in, so I don't know what a wolf means to you, but when I got the wolf, I looked down and then I saw these, what are they, leopards? They're leopards, aren't they? Because they've got the spots. So there's got to be someone in your life at the moment, and I feel like like I said, it's not gender specific, but I feel like a male energy where, you know, a leopard doesn't change its spots. You're expecting something different from a man in your life, and you're not receiving it. So this could be a boss, a work colleague, a brother or a father, or a partner even. But there's something here that you're just sitting patiently and waiting for, but your gut knows better. Okay, so there needs to be some movement here with the career based around what you already know, and what you're expecting, and what you continuously get from the male in this scene, in this career department, I'll say. Okay, now, because you are so intuitive, you're actually, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a water sign that comes in here, you know, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio influence. So again, if you're not a water sign, or someone around you is not supporting you that's a water sign, check your birth chart, because you've got to have water in there, because the emotional side is something that's really coming out. And the thing is, you're super sensitive, which is a superpower, right? A lot of people say being sensitive is not great, but it's a superpower if you ask me, because you'll just pick up straight away on situations and know when it's time to walk away and when it's time not. Now, I'm going to say in your career at the moment, you're feeling a little bit of harshness and a little bit of discontentment. Maybe it is a time to change a few things up, maybe walk away, or if you've done that recently, I feel like it was the best. There might be a little bit of regret around it because you don't like to drop the tools and walk off, but that's pretty much what's going on in this reading. And the last card here in this lineup is the surrender. Okay, it says, yeah, I'm going to read this because this makes sense. Let go of the internal and external struggles in your life. Give up the fight to control others and situations. Relinquish your need to be right and surrender to a higher power. So in this move that you've made in your career, there's this regret. There's this idea that you should have done it better, or you should have, you know, spoken up quicker, or whatever it may be. But the thing is, it's now time just to surrender to what has been, and it's now time to take the reins back and get back into creating what's next. I feel like there's a bit of a break here with your work. I feel like you've sat back, you've made a call, and even though you may feel like if there's been, oh sorry, my battery went flat. So yeah, I feel like there's been a break in your work, and that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing, because it is time for you, whether and I'm getting my crystal again, whether there's a maternity leave coming up, or you're trying to get pregnant, or something like that around you is also coming through. But it's a nice time for you just to put the pace down a bit. I want to go down a couple of notches with this reading. Okay, let's just get a bit more information with these cards here. I tell you what though, you've been on a big journey of helping others. All right, I've got some new cards here. Excuse me. All right, so yeah, so we've got mirror magic. This is lunar light, past life, spectrum, self-care. So it's time for you to just, in this time out, just have some space for yourself. And 3 and 2, when you bring them down, is the number 5. 5 is about challenges and opportunities, and we can look at it at either side, but we need to look at ourselves. It's a reflection of how people treat us, is a reflection of how we're allowing them to, and how we treat ourselves. So if you're not happy, which it feels like there's some harshness going on in your career world, it's time to really start treating yourself. Treating yourself is the word. And I just feel so much gentleness. It's time for you to be gentle. Tread carefully. Be mindful what you watch on TV. Just a little bit of oversensitivity. And like I said, you're sensitive, and that's a superpower. But sometimes with these superpowers comes a lot of there's a bit of a burden in it. There's a bit of a burden in it, so we need to balance that, and just find that you're allowed to be still, and really tap into that gentleness. Okay, that's what's going on here, because when you come from a place of you're not in a hurry, you're not being pushed, and you haven't got that turmoil going in on you, that's where you're going to really be able to share the skills that you already have in more of a loving way. Because look, you're peace, love among beings. Let's be real, and that is beautiful, because you would be my friend. And the thing is, from that place, the world can be harsh. And you're quite somebody who wants to make a difference with your role. You don't want to just go to work for the money, because you've never worked for money, as in the love of money, sure, to put food on the table, but your motivation is to be of service and to help others. So you just keep doing you. And if that means you need to take a week off, whether there's, I don't even want to say like stress leave, perhaps, something to consider. I'm not saying you're stressed. Maybe you are. Yeah, I am. I actually am. When I said it, I felt rude, but I'm getting into your energy because I don't want to upset you, you see. So you're really trying not to upset everybody, and you're keeping it in. So just be mindful of that. So when you use that intuition, use it not only for everybody around you, but for yourself. And I just want to grab another card to finish. Okay, so, no, and another card. Great. Whoa, time for you to just chill. Time for you to just chill. The first card we got is a sadness, but the sadness is behind you. It's not like something sad's happening. It feels like this is sort of past stuff that's resurfacing. You're sort of reliving old stuff. And I feel like there's being misheard, being a bit misheard. But look, great sadness that will heal with time. I really feel like the healing is happening already. So that's great news. The healing is happening already. You're mindful. You're not silly. You are mindful. You know what to do. It's just a matter of just doing more of it now, okay? Because you want to be there for others. You want to help them through their sadness. And if you're not a healer by definition, you already are. You already are in my eyes. But you've got the Hermit card just to finish with. And the Hermit card's nice time for you just to tap into what you already know. Maybe journal, you know, really have a look at what you've been doing, because you're such a light in the darkness. You are such a light, and through the pandemic you were there. You were there, you showed up, you helped people through. You still are doing that, but now it's time to take that time out and remove yourself from harsh situations. Be gentle with yourself and let yourself just have that nurture that you really need and deserve, and let yourself have it. Don't pretend to have it and really absorb it, because that's what you're going to help people be able to do. Stop, receive. And it's time that you stop and receive, so you know what you're talking about. If that makes sense. I just feel like I want one more card for you guys. Again, one more card, because you're just so beautiful. And I just want to keep giving, but you need to receive. Oh, sorry, I'm just going to, that was all folded. I'm going to just, I'll wait till one jumps out, because, oh, that one. Did you see that? That one. There we go. Right. Dance with life. Do something to change your energy. So you've been taking on everybody else's stuff. It's now time for you. Music, dancing, champagne, whatever it takes for you to really connect with yourself. Because you, my friend, are a really great healer. If you are developing oh no, you don't even know. I was going to say if you're not developing your intuition more, but you already know it. You already know it. You've already got it. You need to tap into what you have, what you know, and really just let yourself dance with music. Dance with music. And that's really important for you right now. And that, my friend, is your reading. Just reevaluate. Don't be taken granted for. This is your life, right? Take care. That is your reading. Thank you very much for tuning in, beautiful people. And please like, subscribe, share. I'll see you next time. And please comment. Let me know how you enjoyed your reading today. Stay well. Be kind. Be kind to yourself and others. Peace out.